Antarctica is massive. It's larger than Europe and covered by ice up to 3 miles thick. Scientists estimate about 90% of Earth's freshwater is locked inside that ice sheet. And yet, this frozen wasteland wasn't always this way. Hundreds of thousands, even millions of years ago, Antarctica was green. Fossilized plants, trees, and even dinosaur remains have been found there. Some scientists say parts of Antarctica were covered in rainforests as little as 90 million years ago. Imagine palm trees swaying where penguins now waddle. And here's the twist. Under all that ice, satellite images and ground-penetrating radar have revealed shapes, geometric, triangular, some say unmistakably pyramid-like. Our story doesn't begin with the cold, sterile view from a satellite. It begins in a time of ink and parchment, of sea monsters drawn in the margins of the known world. The year is 1513. In the bustling heart of the Ottoman Empire, Constantinople, an admiral and cartographer named Piri Reis is compiling a new map of the world. He is a man of the sea, a respected military mind, but also a scholar, obsessed with the science of geography. Using a collection of older charts, some rumoured to have belonged to Christopher Columbus himself, he creates something that will baffle historians for centuries to come. For over 400 years, his work lies forgotten, a rolled-up piece of gazelle skin tucked away in the dusty archives of Istanbul's Topkapi Palace. When it's rediscovered in 1929, the world sees a stunningly beautiful, remarkably detailed chart from the great age of discovery. But as scholars look closer, they find something that shouldn't be there, something impossible. At first glance, the map is a masterpiece of its time. The coastlines of Western Europe, North Africa, and the coast of Brazil are all rendered with a precision that rivals maps made decades, even a century later. The details are exquisite, the notes in the margins telling tales of exploration and distant lands. It's a testament to Piri Reis's skill as a compiler of knowledge. But then the eye drifts downward, past the tip of South America, to a landmass that continues eastward along the bottom edge of the parchment. His world map, still preserved today, shows the coastlines of Africa, South America, and a mysterious southern continent. And that's where the story takes a sharp turn from history into profound mystery. There's a very big problem. The continent we now call Antarctica wasn't officially discovered by humans until a Russian expedition sighted it in 1820, more than 300 years after Piri Reis drew his map. Yet there it is, and the depiction is even stranger than its mere presence. Piri Reis didn't draw a continent covered in ice. He drew a land of topographical detail. You can see what appear to be mountain ranges, plateaus, and even rivers flowing to the sea. It's a depiction of an ice-free Antarctica. Modern science, using ice-penetrating radar and seismic soundings, has mapped the land hidden beneath the 2-mile-thick ice sheet. And when you compare that subglacial topography to the Piri Reis map, the similarities in some areas are unnerving. It's as if the continent was surveyed and charted at a time before the ice came, a time when, according to geologists, it should have already been frozen for millions of years. So how is this possible? Mainstream historians offer a logical explanation. Piri Reis himself wrote on the map that he didn't explore these lands himself. He compiled his chart from around 20 older source maps. They argue he was simply copying from these older documents, and the southern landmass is a creative interpretation, but that only pushes the question back. Where did maps come from? This is where alternative thinkers like author Graham Hancock enter the picture. For Hancock, the Piri Reis map is Exhibit A in a case for a forgotten chapter of human history. He suggests the map is a genuine artifact, a piece of inherited knowledge passed down from a much older, far more advanced civilization. One with sophisticated seafaring and cartographic abilities that existed deep in our prehistory during the last ice age. A civilization that mapped the globe, including an ice-free Antarctica, before being wiped from the face of the Earth by a global cataclysm, leaving only faint fingerprints of their existence for later cultures to find. Of course, skeptics and mainstream scientists like astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson dismiss this idea as romantic fantasy. They argue there is zero archaeological evidence for a global advanced Ice Age civilization. They propose that the supposed Antarctic coastline is nothing more than the southern coast of South America, distorted and bent eastward by the cartographer to fit the shape of the parchment. Or it could be a representation of the mythical Terra Australis, the unknown southern land that many cartographers of the era believed must exist to balance the land masses of the northern hemisphere. They point to the map's many other errors, a wildly inaccurate Caribbean, non-existent islands, as proof that it's a flawed mashup of real coastlines, sailors' rumours and pure guesswork. And yet, the resemblance of that southern coastline to a land buried under miles of ice remains. It's a ghost on the page, a cartographic anomaly that defies easy explanation. The debate rages on in books, documentaries and late-night arguments. Is the Piri Reis Map a simple, misunderstood artifact from the Age of Discovery, or is it a key, a message in a bottle from a lost world telling us that our history is not what we think it is? The map can only tell us so much. To find the answers, we have to go to the source. We must journey from the dusty archives to the most forbidding landscape on our planet, a continent of secrets, frozen in time. Fast forward to the 20th and 21st centuries. With the help of satellites and digital imaging, researchers begin noticing strange mountain-like structures poking through the ice. At least 3 major pyramid-shaped formations have been identified. The most famous, in the Ellsworth Mountains, looks eerily symmetrical. 4 sides, sharp angles, rising out of the endless white. Some researchers say these are simply nunataks, mountain peaks that poke through the ice sheets. Nature, after all, loves symmetry, but others argue the odds of multiple, perfectly symmetrical, pyramid-like mountains in one location are slim. And here's where the theories explode. If this were a Marvel movie, we'd call it Captain Antarctica Civil War. Antarctica, a continent of ice, silence and secrets buried deeper than any explorer has ever dared to dig. While science sees a pristine laboratory for studying Earth's climate, other eyes see a canvas for humanity's darkest and most persistent conspiracies. When you peel back the layers of ice and official history, you find stories that defy belief, stories of clandestine operations and technologies far beyond our own. This is where the known world ends and the speculation begins. Enter the conspiracies. Our story starts in the shadow of World War II. In 1938, with global tensions simmering, Nazi Germany launched a highly publicized expedition to the southernmost continent. On board the vessel Schwabenland, they charted a vast, unclaimed territory between longitudes 20 degrees east and 10 degrees west, promptly naming it Neuschwabenland, New Swabia. The official story was innocuous enough, securing a new whaling station for Germany to reduce its reliance on imported industrial oils. A simple economic and scientific mission, but the conspiracy version of events tells a far more sinister tale. It whispers that the Nazis weren't looking for whales, they were searching for a refuge, a place to build a fortress hidden from the world, a final redoubt for the Third Reich. Theorists claim they discovered a network of ice-free caves and warm geothermal rivers, the perfect location to construct a secret military installation known as Base 211, a place where they could continue their research into exotic weaponry and anti-gravity technology far from the prying eyes of the Allies. The war ended, but the secrets of Antarctica, it seems, did not. Just a year later, in 1946, the United States military mounted the largest Antarctic expedition in history, Operation Highjump. Led by the celebrated polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd, this was no small scientific jaunt. It was a full-scale naval invasion involving an aircraft carrier, 13 support ships, and nearly 5,000 military personnel. The official purpose? To train troops in frigid conditions and test equipment in the extreme cold. But the mission, scheduled to last 6 months, was abruptly cut short. The task force retreated after only 8 weeks, with reports of heavy casualties. Upon his return, Admiral Byrd allegedly spoke to a South American newspaper, giving a chilling warning about a new enemy that could fly from pole to pole at incredible speeds. Rumours exploded. Had Byrd's massive fleet engaged in a secret battle? And if so, with whom? Conspiracy theorists had their answer. They had found the Nazis in Base 211 and encountered their new, technologically superior, advanced aircraft. Some claim these were the infamous Nazi flying saucers, the Hornebu, developed in secret and now operating from their hidden Antarctic sanctuary. The legend was cemented by a purported secret diary attributed to Admiral Byrd himself. In its pages, he supposedly describes not a battle with Nazis, but a peaceful encounter with a subterranean race. He writes of being intercepted by flying saucers, or Flugelrads, that rose majestically out of the ice. He describes a lost world of breathtaking beauty, and a civilization with technology that could change the course of human history. Mainstream historians are quick to dismiss the diary as an elaborate and obvious hoax, a work of fiction created decades after Byrd's death, but in conspiracy circles, it's treated as gospel, the suppressed testimony of a man who saw too much. And if secret Nazi bases and UFOs weren't enough, add ancient pyramids to the mix. In recent years, satellite imagery has revealed several mountain peaks in Antarctica that bear an uncanny resemblance to the pyramids of Giza. Geologists explain them away as nunataks, natural rock formations carved by millennia of wind and ice. But for those who believe, these are no mountains. They are weathered, time-worn structures, evidence of a civilization that predates all known human history. Could this be the true source of the continent's mystery? A lost world, perhaps Atlantis itself, frozen and preserved beneath the ice cap? Did the Nazis know of its existence? Was this the advanced civilization Byrd encountered? Suddenly, Antarctica sounds less like a frozen wasteland and more like a lost world straight out of Indiana Jones, where every new discovery only deepens the enigma. The continent guards its secrets well, leaving us with tantalizing clues and a universe of unanswered questions. It began in the early 2000s, a time when the digital world was still a frontier. With the advent of public-facing satellite imagery like Google Earth, anyone with an internet connection could become an explorer, charting the globe from their desktop. And in the most remote, inhospitable place on Earth, they found something impossible, a shape. A perfect four-sided pyramid piercing through the ice sheet. The images went viral, spreading like digital wildfire across the burgeoning landscape of online forums and conspiracy blogs. The question was immediate and electric. Who could have built it? The theories lit up the dark corners of the web, each more fantastic than the last. Some claimed these were the lost pyramids of Atlantis, built by a hyper-advanced civilization that fled to the poles to escape a great flood, their final outpost frozen in time. Others argued for an extraterrestrial origin, suggesting the structures were alien outposts, perhaps navigation beacons or even dormant motherships waiting beneath the ice. And then there was the theory of a lost human civilization, one that predates our own recorded history. Proponents like author Graham Hancock have long argued for a sophisticated global culture wiped out by a cataclysm at the end of the last ice age. For them, the Antarctic pyramids aren't alien. They are a forgotten chapter of our own story, a testament to a human past far older and more advanced than we could ever imagine. The conversation, once confined to niche communities, exploded into the mainstream when one of the world's most influential figures weighed in. Even Elon Musk has fanned the flames. He once tweeted a meme about the pyramids, a seemingly casual joke that sent shockwaves of speculation across the internet. But with Musk, nothing is ever simple. This is the man building rockets to colonize Mars, a visionary whose company SpaceX operates its own network of satellites. The question on everyone's mind was potent. Maybe he knew something we didn't. Was it a classic Musk troll? A calculated bit of mischief? Or was it a slip, a hint from a man with access to information the public can only dream of? In the modern age of information, a single tweet from the right person can transform a fringe theory into a global mystery. Meanwhile, as speculation runs rampant online, real science is uncovering its own set of anomalies in Antarctica, discoveries that, in their own way, are just as strange. For decades, researchers have been puzzled by massive magnetic anomalies deep beneath the ice. The most famous is in Wilkes Land, a gravitational disturbance detected from space, spanning an area over 300 miles wide. Some scientists theorize it's the impact crater of a colossal extinction-level asteroid. But for pyramid theorists, the anomaly points to something else entirely, the metallic signature of a massive buried structure or city. Of course, the scientific consensus offers a more sober explanation. Geologists point out that the pyramids are likely nunataks, mountain peaks that have been carved into pyramidal shapes by millennia of converging glacial flows and freeze-thaw erosion. They are natural formations, tricks of perspective and geology. But even this rational explanation can't account for all of Antarctica's mysteries. Consider Lake Vostok, a massive subglacial lake larger than Lake Ontario, buried under 2 miles of solid ice. Its waters have been sealed off from the outside world for at least 15 million years, a pristine ecosystem lost in time. Scientists have drilled into this hidden world, discovering a bizarre menagerie of unknown microbes, life forms that have evolved in total darkness under immense pressure in near-freezing water. The existence of such a place has attracted the attention of NASA, which has joined research missions in Antarctica. They see the continent as a perfect analogue for extreme environments on other worlds like the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. If life can thrive in a sealed lake under miles of Antarctic ice, could it also be thriving in the subsurface oceans of Europa? It's a fascinating parallel. While some search Antarctica for signs of aliens who visited Earth, our best scientists are searching it for clues on how to find alien life in the stars. So we are left with a grand conflict. On one side, the logic of geology and the patient work of science. On the other, tantalizing satellite images, cryptic tweets from tech billionaires, and the deep human desire to believe in a past more epic and mysterious than the one we've been told. Are the Antarctic pyramids just rocks, magnificent flukes of nature? Or could they be something more? A truth so profound it was buried under a continent of ice, waiting for the day it can no longer be contained. You're watching the Mysteriousness channel, where every shadow hides a secret and every secret waits to be uncovered. Geologists will tell you, nature can create pyramids, wind, ice, erosion. They can carve mountains into shapes that look man-made. And the Antarctic pyramids, they argue, are exactly that. Nunataks, natural peaks shaped by ice and time. But mystery seekers see the same images and shake their heads. How could nature create something so perfect? How could ancient maps show Antarctica without ice? And why do so many world powers keep such a close eye on the continent? The truth may be simple, or it may be stranger than we're ready to accept. Then there's the most extreme theory, extraterrestrials. Ancient astronaut theorists argue that the Antarctic pyramids were built not by humans, but by visitors from the stars. They point to legends of sky gods, the alignment of pyramids around the world, and unexplained lights seen over Antarctica. Mainstream science calls it nonsense. But remember, 100 years ago, the idea of microbes living under 3 miles of ice would have sounded like nonsense too. Today, it's a fact. Sometimes speculation becomes science. So what lies beneath Antarctica's ice? Natural mountains, forgotten civilizations, alien structures. For now, the pyramids remain frozen in mystery. Perhaps one day the ice will melt and reveal their true nature. But until then, they remain one of Earth's greatest enigmas. Here on Mysteriousness channel, we don't claim to have all the answers, but we will always ask the questions. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Because the truth isn't just out there, sometimes it's buried beneath the ice.